welcome everybody. Karen here from stampingbees.co.nz. Welcome back to our monthly global video hop. Gosh, I don't know where those months go each time. Just seems like I'm finished one and it's time for another one. But this month, it's very exciting. We are going to share some fantastic ideas with you on using Designer Series Paper or DSP. This is such a wonderful, wonderful item to use. Papers, beautifully designed papers, usually have patterns on both sides. Sometimes it's really hard to decide which one to use. So I'm going to show you where these are in the catalogue, and I'm going to be showcasing one of these in particular, which is one of my favourites. And I always say favourites, and I end up having so many favourites, but it is definitely one of my favourites. So let's flip over and let's get started. So yes, as I was saying, Designer Series Paper. Gosh, where would be without Designer Series Paper? Absolutely one of my favourites. It is on page, let me see, I had this open just a minute ago, Designer Series Paper. Now, what you see in here is stunning, but when you actually see these papers in reality, they are so much, I was going to say nicer, that's not the right word, but they are far more impactful than they are obviously being photographed, which I think is the same for most things. But Designer Series Paper is just so versatile. You can add so much to a card with it. It can be the feature, it can be used in the background, it can be used to add texture, or it can be the whole highlight of your whole card. There is just so many beautiful, beautiful papers. Now, I won't obviously go through and show you all of them. I am going to focus on one in particular that I find is beautiful, and I wanted to pick something that I could make the highlight of my cards. Well, they all can be highlights of your card, obviously, but I wanted to work with Whale of a Time. So this is 6x6 Designer Series Paper, and I will show you a couple of projects that I have made with this, and then we'll make something pretty straightforward with this as well. So let's just pop that over to the side there. So I'll just show you the stamp set first. This is the well done stamp set. It has got some seaweeds and a little seahorse, turtle, jellyfish, etc. I just really was drawn to this. My sport of choice is underwater hockey, and that was originated by people that actually were divers many years ago and wanted to have an activity in the winter to keep fit for diving in the summer. So underwater hockey was born, and so it does go hand in hand with diving, etc. And I do really love the sea and the ocean, etc. So of course this was on my list. So that's the stamp set, and that is a bundle with the punch, which is a whale punch, and it also has some extra punches that you can add from the stamp to make it more three-dimensional. So you can add the colour and the fins, etc., in a water blow when the whale surfaces. So lots of extras on there as well. We'll use that in a moment. And this is the paper. Oops, it does come with an embossing folder as well. Oops, bit hard to see. We will, I have got something that we'll be using with that today, but beautiful patterns of seaweed and stars, etc. Just gorgeous, absolutely perfect for this sort of thing. And part of this suite is, of course, the Designer Series Paper. Whales, we're going to be using one of these shortly, and these, as I say, these are standalone, and you can use them. Like the whale punch cuts out the whale perfectly, but there's scenes in here. There is those beautiful school of fish, whales, jellyfish. Those turtles gorgeous. Look at his little face. He's turning around to, who are you? Great expression. And of course on the reverse side you have also just as stunning waves, seaweed, underwater. I think that's fantastic. Really does give you that illusion of being underwater. Schools of fish. So as I always explain, for all the Designer Series papers that you get on the packet, will always tell you what colours are used to make the papers. And this has Balmy Blue, Blackberry Bliss, Bumblebee, Calypso Coral, Granny Apple Green, Just Jade, Pacific Point, Pool Party, Pretty Peacock, Shaded Spruce and Whisper White. So lots of fabulous colours in there. So I have had so much fun with these papers. And as I said, I just made these cards, not so much using the stamp set, etc., but by using the Designer Series paper. So this one has got the whale in it. Now I have used this paper and added some extra seaweed. Now let me see if I can quickly find that paper. Probably won't be able to now that I want to show it to you. Oh, this one here, there it is. So as you can see, you can stamp on Designer Series papers. You can add to it. So I've added some more of the coral and the Calypso Coral and in the Blackberry Bliss. I've just made that area a little bit denser with activity. I've put some fish and some seahorses, etc., and just made that busier. This is a little bit of a sneak peek of some ribbon in the holiday mini catalogue. I thought this was perfect for a water card. It looks like a sort of a silvery, netty kind of look, shimmery, and just a whale on the inside. So that's just using Designer Series paper. I've stamped on the Designer Series paper. I have used the punch for that, and I've just fussy cut that to create that card. And for this one, I have used the Designer Series paper on both the inside of this and the view through the porthole, if you like, and I've made this into a shaker card. So the gorgeous embellishments are just beautiful. They have little pink shells and lots of shimmery bits in here as well. So really good for this sort of shaker card. And there's a little crab on the bottom there. And this ribbon is also part of this suite. It's a Pool Party shimmer ribbon. Absolutely gorgeous. Love that ribbon. So that's using, as I say, Designer Series paper once again. And this one, I just love this view of the turtles all going. I don't know if you ever watched Finding Nemo. It just reminded me of that scene where all the turtles are swimming. And I have cut out some varying sizes, bigger to sort of smaller, to give that 3D impression of the turtle swimming. But yeah, that just really reminded me of that movie. And yeah, that's how, and it's just designed, other than the sentiment, no stamping on that one. Okay, so those are the three I've made. I will be making this one. I haven't made it up yet, so a little bit of play. I sort of got an idea. So I'm going to be using this, which is in Pretty Peacock, and it's got seaweed on it. That's on the back of the jellyfish, and some bits and pieces. So I sort of had an idea. I've got them. Hopefully it's all going to come together nicely. So let's start off. I do want to, I will rough up the edges, and as I always say that if you don't like roughed up edges, you don't have to do this. Now I have done this in inches this time because I tend to, if I do a square card, I always seem to remember the inches rather than centimetres. So this is a 10 by 5 card in Pool Party, and then these are all progressively less sizes, whatever you want to make them. I start off with the base, and usually a 1/4 inch or sometimes a bit less, depending on how much I want of the frame. So I'm going to rough this up. So once again, I'm just going to try and use mainly the Designer Series paper, as that's what our focus is for this video. And I just want to show you how wonderful they are just to create a quick card just using papers. Okay, so that's going to go on there. Now the other thing I wanted to do with this, I have used the embossing folder with this. Really stunning pattern that embossing folder pops on. Now I just wanted to use my Whisper White ink pad. I'm just going to add, rub a little bit on just to really bring up those patterns on that embossing folder. Okay. Right. So that really is, it really brings up and highlights the pattern. So I thought that was a great way to do that. And I will rough up the edges on this as well. Good old rough edges. I've got to keep in the keeping now that I've done one, you see. So I've got to keep the theme going through. There we go. Okay. So up that way, I think be good. Might put that on a bit of an angle. Let's just see. So I have pre-done the sentiment. That's on the back of one of the Designer Series paper. It's keeping to the theme of just Designer Series paper. Now, what I did want to do, and I have used blackberry. Oops! Oh my goodness me, that was loud. That was my block. Actually, I don't need that one, that's fine. That was for the sentiment, thanks a ton. I was just going to show you that I'd used Blackberry Bliss. So I hope you didn't get too much of a blast with that falling on the ground. Now, I'm just going to add a couple more seaweed bits, and I am using the Blackberry Bliss. Just want to give it a little bit more definition. I won't go over the gorgeous crabs. You don't have to do this, of course. I just wanted to show you that you can stamp on your Designer Series paper. And I'll just add a little bit there. There we go, that's probably enough. I might put a little bit there actually. Yeah, that's better. Cool. Okay, so that's just added that in Blackberry Bliss, and now I will find the whale paper, the whale DSP, because we're going to cut one out. I did have this out, but I tidied everything up so I could show you. So, right, okay. Now the punch. So always use your punch upside down so that you can see. Now I'm going to use this whale because he's got a bit of Blackberry Bliss on him. And just going to try and get that nice and even. And punch that out. Fabulous. So that is going to be our cute whale. Okay, I'll rough up these edges as well. But as I say, you know, I know I keep saying, but if you really don't like this sort of look, it is beautiful as a clean card, what I call a clean card as well. But I absolutely love texture. Always love to add a bit of texture to my cards. Okay, so let's start putting some of this together. I might put that on an angle and put that straight. I think that would look Good, yes. Okay, so let's pop this on, and then I will put some ribbon. I should be using the Stampin', I have got it here, I use it on the Stampin' Seal. I'm just really getting used to it. I have been such an avid glue user, I must admit, because I like to have wiggle room. I'm not very good at getting things on straight away, so I do like to be able to have a little bit of a play. Okay, so these are the scissors. These are my ribbon scissors. My other scissors get so blunt with using it on cardstock, so I like to keep a pair separate. Okay, I will use that for this. Actually, I usually use double-sided tape, but this actually should be perfect. Okay, so as I say, I'm just getting used to using this, and hopefully for those people that have used this sort of thing a lot, they say it's fantastic, but I am finding it very easy, actually, I must admit, for a newbie. And that works so well for putting ribbon on. Usually I'm fiddling around with getting the back off tape, etc. But that works really, really well. Okay, so we might pop that up on some dimensionals. Look at that too. See, that could be used as an underwater scene as well. Great school, I assume they're called school of jellyfish. Maybe it's something else, but mind you wouldn't want to be in the middle of it, would you? Would not be good. Okay. There we go. Nearly there. Always just tap on the back, make sure I've got them all. And one more. Brilliant. Okay, so I'm going to pop that on. Try and get that straight without leaning over, which I tend to like to do. Which that isn't straight. Now, come off nicely. Thank you. Now. Okay, let's try that again. Now I'm in the interim have got that crooked. That's better. I do tend to stand over these things, but I know you don't want to see the back of my head, so I'm being thoughtful. Probably you'd be messaging me, telling me I need to do my hair, do my roots. Right, so I'll pop this up as well. And we've had just looking out the window, which is in front of me, so much rain for the last few days. Now is that straight? Goodness me. Have to look at this edge, not the Calypso Coral. So that's Calypso Coral and the base is Pool Party, which I probably didn't say, knowing me. Okay, so I think I've added this little bit of Blackberry Bliss in here. It goes really well with the whale. We want him to be the focus. And I'll just get one of these little half ones. Okay, trim that down a little bit. That's the wrong scissors. There we go. You could, of course, if you wanted to, cut a couple of these out, and you could use the punch to add extra dimension with extra wings, etc. I thought I'd just keep it nice and straightforward today. Just put that there. So cute. Okay, now where did I put the ribbon? I had the ribbon, oh, here it is, right in front of me. Okay, so let's get a beautiful bow. I don't know if you can see that there, how shimmery and gorgeous this is. It says Pool Party. It really is lovely. So let's get this bow. Oops. There we go. Just going to pull it tight, and I will pop this on with a glue dot. Let's see, is that the right size? Maybe a bit smaller, I think. A bit smaller. There we go. So I'll just grab my glue dots. Perfect sort of ribbon for these cards with the shimmery and sheerness of it. See the difference? That was my paper scissors. Could not cut anything with them now. Right. There we go. Now, I did pop this out in, as I say, stamp that, and thanks a ton. The sayings on the stamp set are just adorable. Thanks a ton. Well done. My love for you is bigger than the ocean. You're kind of a big deal. Hoping all your birthday wishes come true. And the writing is fantastic. Really great. So what I thought I would do, this sort of matches in with the green there. Do I want it there? Yeah, I think I want it there. I might just trim it down a little bit. And I thought I would, just in keeping with the rest of the card, doesn't need to be this big. Actually, it's probably easier to do it while it's a bit bigger. I'm just going to rip down the bottom of it. It's hard to do it if it's too small. So when you rip towards you, you get the fluffy edge. If you rip away, let me see, oh, it's probably enough on that. So if I was now to rip away from me, you get a cleaner edge. And if you rip towards you, you get that edge that has a little bit of the paper sort of splits, and you get a bit of the split paper on there. If you rip away, you get that clean edge. Okay, so I'm wanting the rough edge. Just going to chop it down a little bit. Okay. Just pop a bit of glue on there. Do I want it that way? Yeah. I think I'll just. Right, let's pop that up on dimensionals. And the last thing will be to add some, oh, other than the inside, I'll do the inside first, I think. So I might put that on straight. Okay, let's pop. So I just kept a bit of leftover from the cutting the DSP to use inside. You could stamp inside if you wanted to. I just thought this was keeping in with the theme, making the most of all the scraps from your designer series paper. What I mean, it's not straight. Is now. So this is just pretty peacock. I quite like to put a extra layer on the inside if I've got quite a few layers on the front. It just helps to balance out the card. And it looks nice. There we go. Now we're just going to add some of these beautiful, they're a little bit fiddly, but that's all right, they're worth putting on. I will just use some shells actually. Now I grab my tweezers. Now I always like to place mine on first. Now, I won't be able to get it up, of course. These are cute little coral, like calypso coral shells. Just beautiful. So I might put a couple in there. And one more shell, I think. And then I will pop some bling on the outside. Look, I'm not going to hold you up and glue these on at this present point of time. I'll put them in place so you can see, and then I will glue them down off camera, basically, because it is quite fiddly. I'm going to put a few on. I did want you to see them though. There we go. So actually I might put one more. I do like these, and of course there's plenty of them, so let's put one there. So that's where I will be gluing those on. And you know, that might just need a little bit of roughing up on the edges. I probably should have done that, I think. Let's see if you can do it post. It just does not look quite right because everything else is messy. So I will just try and see. I look at something that's too straight and I don't like it. Just try and get that messy as well. There we go. That's going to be better. Much better. There we go. That's better. I like that much better. So that's the card using Designer Series paper. As I say, you can just do some absolutely gorgeous creations with Designer Series paper. I'll bring in the other cards that I had as well. To show you. You can stamp on Designer Series paper. As I say, I stamped on this one. Well, we stamped on this one as well, but I stamped quite a bit on this one with the fish, etc. And that is just Designer Series paper except for the sentiment, and I just had a square theme going on for these cards. Just thought once I started a couple, I thought I'd stick to that same thing. And then this is the shaker card. So all focusing on the designer series paper. So I really do hope you enjoyed. I hope you get stuck into using your designer series paper. Oh, that's a bit stuck over there, and I'm wiggling the camera around, so I hope you've been able to see. Enjoy. I'd love to see what you create. Please click on the next person. The YouTube, as I say, it's a hop, so in the comments you will find the next person to go and watch their amazing video about another series of designer series paper. So enjoy, and I will see you again next month. Take care.